orders of magnitude, like multiple orders of magnitude lower funding than headcount than them. And they still only have 6x more traffic than us, Bard. It's pretty crazy. It means like clearly you have to be an incredibly much better product that despite way lower distribution, you have like comparable traffic. So that's sort of my answer to Bard. Bing Chat, I think enough people have said about it on the internet that I don't want to add more to it, except that they, despite having a much superior model to start with, GPT-4, and we only got access to it many months later, we still were like ranked better than them on search quality by a paper from Stanford. And I think you also did an analysis recently on us versus Bing and found us to be faster.
Synthedia.
So Perplexity is the answer engine. It's a conversational answer engine trying to revolutionize search from 10 blue links to directly seeking answers. So for example, if you wanted to know like what's going on in Russia now, instead of seeing some bunch of links, you can directly ask about like, oh, whether it's going to drop charges against Wagner, and then you get a detailed answer like this. But the difference from ChatGPT is that you actually can trust what it says because it's going to cite all the relevant links that it's pulling the content from. So Perplexity is not giving you the answer of what the neural network thinks, which is what ChatGPT does. Instead, it's actually going and reading these links for you, and then pulling up the relevant content from those links, and then giving you the answer as if a journalist or an academic researcher or somebody writing a Wikipedia article would have written it for you. So that way, it's a lot of human labor that's involved in like going and pulling up relevant information and condensing it in a way that's like easily consumable for the person searching for the information. So that's the basic idea of the product. It's a combination of search indexes and LLMs. And like we play the orchestra in terms of how to combine all these together for real fast information. And you can use it for anything. Like you can use it to do like research about like health insurance. You could say Aetna versus Kaiser, and we're just gonna like give you like benefits of each insurance provider. And like, you know, on the other hand, if you try to ask this in Google, let's say you're just gonna get a bunch of links, and the reason is that Aetna and Kaiser pay a lot of money for Google to like get displayed and you get a bunch of Reddit links, Quora links, and you're just going to open them and keep reading, right? On the other hand, the real information you want is here, which is like, how do I pick between the two? What are the benefits and pros and cons based on what I want? And if you're asking for a pretty detailed question, like you can actually tell more about yourself in the prompt and then get the relevant insurance provider for you. You can also use it for doing research about like, you know, companies. Like if I were a startup and I'm just like going by what big companies before me have achieved over the period of time, there's obviously this famous you know, Figma revenue curve. So I'm curious, okay, when did they start really making revenue? And it's like amazing, right? They started making revenue in 2017 and they were only 4 million in 2018 and like 15, like they basically quadrupled the next year and like pretty much tripled the next year, doubled, and slowly it kind of became a money printing machine, right? And that's why Adobe paid $20 billion. So it's very easy for you to go and understand anything. Like, and this is not just for you know, one company or something. You can search for AWS, any particular business unit in any company, and you're going to get all this information. You can use it for trivia, or like you know, like just if you're wondering about Fermi paradox and like possibility of artificial general intelligence, what's the connection between the two? You can go and read all these pretty fast. And honestly, the experience on Google is pretty bad. You're just going to get a bunch of links like this. So I don't really have to sell you on what is better here. It's pretty evident to see. And we also have this thing called Copilot, which so far was turned off. So the free version, the consumer version, is just the fastest way to get answers on the web right now. And the Copilot is going to help you do more complex searches on the web. So let's say you're going to like take on OpenAI and you want to build a giant compute cluster. So you can say like, I'm trying to build a 10 exaflop cluster in floating point 8 format. I want to know how many H100 GPUs I need to buy and how much liquid cash I need to buy them. Say, right? And 10 exaflop is not high, but this is probably enough to build your own llama, which is kind of like, where Facebook is right now. So, and yeah, so just say, you can say, I don't know if you don't know, so you can just skip this. And then it's just going to go and do the compute for you. It basically takes your question, builds all these intermediate search queries, reads like these 17 web pages, creates another search query, and then you can continue like sort of getting the answer here. So, and then it gives you the sort of detailed answer based on like whatever it's read from the web so far. And it's basically computing all the flops of all these models and giving you the number of GPUs here, which is like 10 million divided by 4,000. And actually, this is correct. In case you wanted to know, like it costs $100 million. I'm going to tell you who did this. It's Nat Friedman, and Dan and Gross. Like they built a 10 exaflop cluster with 2,500 H100s, and Nat confirmed that it cost $100 million to do this. So basically, like this is many hours of research that somebody like Nat would have done. And now you just got the answer in like a few seconds. So it's almost like you have a research analyst on demand working for you full time. And you can do research about anybody. Like I can do research about like, tell me about the voicebot.ai and its founder and his career. In case you're like gonna meet Brett for the first time and you want to know more about him just for the meeting. And this saves you like, like every meeting you just start with like 10 minutes of intros, which you can just save by like looking them up before. Or if you're trying to intro yourself, you could even like take ideas on how to intro yourself in the best possible way by looking at how like an AI that would pull up everything about you on the internet and describe yourself in a comprehensive way. So people use it for a lot of other things, like recruiting. Somebody was saying they're building a new startup for like salespeople to sell their software to certain teams and certain big companies, and they wanted to know which teams they should sell to. And then they would like pull up all this data from the web and maintain a database. And I'm like, hey, you can just do this on Perplexity Pro. Like, you can just say like, hey, I'm a salesperson in weights and biases, and I want to know teams in ML teams in Apple that use PyTorch. So this is going to help you like figure out like which particular engineering divisions in like a large company you need to reach out to on LinkedIn, right? And you can say sales opportunities, they should be using PyTorch, or hiring for PyTorch engineers. And then it just goes and checks teams in Apple that actually like are kind of like hiring PyTorch engineers. And so it goes to indeed.com and then pulls up like all the relevant links, and then gets all the teams that use PyTorch. This is like the technology development group, and that's looking for machine learning engineers with a background in generative AI. This is Apple Vision Pro team. Obviously, all of you know about that, and they're obviously using some PyTorch and deep learning optimization infrastructure. And then all these links are available. So you can actually click on these links, go here, and then like, find these people, right? Data scientists, or like data collection or machine learning lead. And you can try to like see who's the recruiter who posted this job and like try to sell to them. It's pretty easy. So there's this like a ton of use cases here. You can also like just learn more about anything. And then you can use it to plan a trip. It basically it helps you in your both your professional and personal life. And the AI comes back and asks you a lot of clarifying questions and helps you like sort of start off with something vague and iteratively refine your query over time. So it's like 10 days and like you are interested in culture, nature, and things like that, and like you continue searching for it. So it's sort of the go-to search and answer experience on the web. It's going to be saving you a ton of time every day, and that has an inherent value because everyone's time has a lot of value. Like Elon Musk says, time is the ultimate currency. And that's why we have a subscription plan for that, which is Perplexity Pro, where we offer you these powerful copilot searches, unlimited every day, so that you can just benefit a lot in your work and day-to-day life and improve your quality of life. So you can either start off with yourself, like, or you can have a referral program where if you refer somebody, you get a $10 discount. So check it out and start using it and stop using Google.
Yes. Discovering Perplexity was revelatory to me. I found that before Bing Chat. I was trying some others as well, which I found to be not good enough and actually too many errors. One of the things you said at the end, I think, lines up really well with one of the questions from the audience today. And you said this is for your business life. It's also for your personal life because you can use it every day. And so there is this question about when you think about the product user experience, who are your target buyer personas? Is it everybody, or are there some people that it's tuned a little bit more to from a user experience standpoint?
I think it's everybody, honestly. My mom uses it. Obviously, my mom will use it because I'm her son, but like I think your mom can also use it, or like someone else's mom can also use it. It's not that hard to. It's more like a it takes a while to stop using, like I took a while to start using Chrome. I was still using Internet Explorer and Firefox. And some people still use Firefox. They just haven't changed, right? So that said, like, it's going to start off with people who are more excited about AI tools, just like how personal computers started off with the hobbyists and the programmers and the game developers and the gamers, and it slowly expanded to people who did their business work at home on spreadsheets, and then it slowly expanded to like kids, schools, and then basically just now everybody uses a computer. So we're going to say the same thing with AI, except that in this case, the proliferation and the usage is going to like be much faster because people see the immediate value and the in terms of time they have available to them every day much more. You can write code much faster. You can do market and sales research much faster. You can write emails a lot better. So everything is just like, accelerating like crazy.
That's a good point on the feature set. So some people think of ChatGPT and they think of it as not just being able to ask questions to it, but also to be able to help you write a poem or write code or debug code. Can you do those same things with Perplexity?
Correct. Yeah, we can do all that. So we have this thing called writing here. Not many people know that because we don't want this to be. So you can say like, write me a poem about generative AI that's funny, but also moving. And it's obviously going to like be able to do whatever ChatGPT does. And then that's it. Like, if people like view ChatGPT as this thing where they can go for it to generate new content and come to Perplexity where they can come for it to like learn or do research on factfully relevant content, that's fully fine. We don't need to be like the everything product, neither do they need to work really well for search. So I think there's this sort of mental divide people have where they come to Perplexity for real factual content and they go to ChatGPT for entertaining hallucinatory content. And I think both have their value in this world.
Yes, number one for search. So if you go back up and you showed that that's the writing template, but you actually have some other use cases as well.
Yeah, correct. So you can search on Reddit. You can say like say nothing versus iPhone. Summarize to me pros and cons. It's just going to take content only from Reddit and give you like good answers here.
Got it.
So this way,
Now,
you don't have to go to Reddit. It's just a lot more simpler to use Perplexity to like do your Reddit searches.
got it. Although Reddit says they're going to close their API.
Yeah, we'll see about that. You can also learn teach me how to ski, and then you can get YouTube videos that are like pretty good and
Yeah,
relevant
absolutely.
to
Well, so just on the whole concept of saving time, I'm a researcher. And so when I do a search throughout the day. And I tell people I save at least an hour a day being able to use these generative AI or conversational AI solutions.
Yeah.
So one of the questions in here too is say, okay, well, there's some other options out there. Google Bard, there's Bing Chat, there's Google SGE.
Correct.
How do you differentiate Perplexity from those?
Correct. So firstly, I don't think you can trust what Bard says. Let me kind of like show you that. Can Bard let you open the past threads?
I don't know if they've got history right now.
Okay.
I don't recall.
Okay, cool. So let me do it live then. Yeah, so Bard is more like ChatGPT. It still hallucinates and it doesn't have citations and it doesn't actually support. Let me just share my screen here. I'm asking the same query 8 nodes gazer, but this is not a real link actually.
Yeah, it's terrible. This is the problem that several other search engines have had over time.
So this is actually bad. And by the way, we are a startup with like orders of magnitude, like multiple orders of magnitude lower funding than headcount than them, and they still only have 6x more traffic than us. Bard. It's pretty crazy. It means like clearly you have to be an incredibly much better product that despite way lower distribution, you have like comparable traffic. So that's sort of my answer to Bard. Bing Chat, I think enough people have said about it on the internet that I don't want to add more to it, except that they, despite having a much superior model to start with GPT-4, and we only got access to it many months later, we still were like ranked better than them on search quality by a paper from Stanford. And I think you also did an analysis recently on us versus Bing and found us to be faster. So
yes, yeah, you're far faster, and I think that's probably good. And I recommend people check it out. I also did a very extensive. I've done 2 videos, one just on Perplexity, why it's my favorite alternative to ChatGPT, but actually I find myself using it more than ChatGPT these days, and I pay for both. But also I compared it to Google SGE.
Yeah,
it's very fast, and it is an improvement, I think, over the 10 blue link model, but it's. I don't find the answers are as rich, and they're really designed mostly to get you to click their YouTube videos.
Correct. It's basically another way for them to sell more ads, which is great for their business model. But then 5 years down the line, I don't know if that's the right experience people want for search. Right. And it's also very cluttered. Yeah, so are there no hallucinations in Perplexity? I wouldn't say there are no, like you might still find, but basically it's exponentially going down since we started.
Yeah, and how do you reduce the amount of hallucinations? I mean, one is obviously you're actually looking at data that's already out there, and so there's some level of quality control there. You're providing the links so that people can do their own verification, but I think you have other things that you're doing as well.
Yeah, we can improve our index. We can improve how we store all the web pages, what content we extract from the page, and like the LLM itself can improve, and the prompt engineering can improve. And that's why I think one company needs to obsess about this only thing. Right? Bard has so many other use cases. ChatGPT has so many other use cases. Nobody's only exclusively focused on search. And I think that's sort of why we are doing this thing really well. Can I just quickly answer all the questions on the chat window? So is that okay?
You can answer too, and then I have one closing question. Then we're
okay. Cool. Yeah. How about Claude? We are talking to them. I'm pretty excited about Claude 100K, and we are thinking of like what that can do for unique search experiences not possible with GPT-4 or 3.5. Perplexity doesn't have an API yet. That we're thinking about it. And is the concept of SEO going to die? Not really. I think, in fact, it becomes even more relevant now because there's no longer like a broker like Google trying to like figure out how to rank your content based on click logs. LLMs cannot decide that. So if you write better content, it's like if you write a better paper, someone else will cite you. More chances that you'll get cited by other researchers.
Yes.
So it's sort of like that. Yeah.
Well, the
So we
other
can
thing
take
I tell people also about that, I said, when you get the full answer as opposed to the 10 blue links, you're actually giving people 3 or 4 layers of an answer. And when you get the 10 blue links, usually Google is just optimizing for one of the elements, and that's all you see. And so you see the optimization as opposed to a more holistic response.
Sure.
The other thing too that I think is super important here is this conversational aspect of it. So people are familiar already that they can get a response now and they can ask additional questions about it to refine their search or to add it, to enhance it. But you also have those other features that you've incorporated, which I think are really interesting, which are like intelligent questions, helping them refine it. It's almost like someone suggested a Boolean search term to you so that they can actually get a better result.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So my last question as we close out here. So you were an engineer at OpenAI. You're now at Perplexity. You've done really well so far in terms of an amazing product. So I'll say that with no reservation. You've raised a significant amount of money. You're taking on one of the biggest, probably the biggest digital market that there is. What is it that you learned at either OpenAI or in your engineering career that you think is setting you up for success right now?
Get things done. I saw this Obama video floating around Saturday too, where he said this, like, just get things done. Like, don't pontificate. Don't be a thought leader. There'll be a lot of obstacles. Like, just somehow like always try to find workarounds and solutions. And believe in the engineering mindset. Like, done is better than perfect. Everything can be improved. Start with the V0 ASAP, get it in the hands of people, get feedback and iterate. Don't like try to get it perfect and be on the whiteboard all the time.
Aravind Srinivas, thank you so much for joining us. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, look in the resources and the toolbar if you have that. There's a link to Perplexity right now. You can try it out. Also in the link list, we have links to it. Really excited that you're able to join us today. Thanks a lot, Aravind.
Thank you, everyone. See you. Thank you, Brett.
Synthedia, the business and technology of generative AI. Generative AI, synthetic media, large language models, image generators, virtual humans, voice clones, deepfakes, ChatGPT, and more.